Thank you for watching HackTheFile. I'm Michael Lopez, and on today's episode, we're going to be looking at the RTFM Red Team Field Manual book. Enjoy. All right, all right, all right. We're back. So, I was thinking about these books. Okay, I got a bunch of new books over the holidays, right? I treated myself to a bunch of new books, and we're gonna do a bunch of videos. The first video, well, obviously, I'm gonna do the red team review on this, and this is just for those people that don't know what the RTFM is, um, Google it. No, I'm just kidding. Well, we're gonna Google a lot of stuff in it. It's the Red Team Field Manual. So this book, its purpose, I guess, is for red teamers that don't have everything memorized. It gives you a manual. It's a physical book too, right? So this is the digital copy, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I could not find the digital copy for these two books. So this is the blue team field manual, and this is the red team field manual. I could not find the digital copies of these anywhere for about a couple years now. Been trying to find the digital copies, but so I bought the actual field manuals, and so they're just a reference guide, right? But they have a lot of cool. See, I like the concept of it, right? So we're gonna open this up, break it down a little bit. But we're not gonna make a series of this because this is a small book, right? We're just gonna review it, and then I'm gonna make another video on the blue team, right? But we're gonna mess around with this stuff in it. So like we always do, let's open this up. I also bought a bunch of different books, martial arts because I do martial arts and stuff. And then I got this one. This is how they tell me the world ends. I want to review this one too, right? I want to read it and then I want to review it. Um, I heard it's really, really good. So let's get into the red team book. So we're gonna open book. Okay, and I already kind of looked at it a little bit, but like we always do, we always start with the cover. Um, the RTFM version 2, right? So this is the newest version, I guess. Red Team Field Manual, by Ben Clark and Nick Downer. All right, we're gonna read a little bit of this, and where's the copyright on this? So this is written this version 2 was written in 2022, so 2 years ago. Well, it's almost 2025, so 3 years ago. Um, which is fine for a book like this. I mean, a lot of the references that they're going to be referencing is they still work. I mean, it's only been 3 years. Um, when we go through this, we're gonna actually combine this with googling stuff, right? Because this book assumes, I'm assuming, because I already looked at it a little bit, that you know what you're doing, right? And so all it's doing is giving you the command lines in a brief description. So using the red team field manual, and we don't need to read this. This is something, if you guys want to pause the video and you guys want to read this, you can. All it's doing is explaining how it's written, right? And we already know all this. We've done a bunch of books already. So like if it says file path with this, you're not putting that in there, file path. And you're gonna put your file path and your address to whatever it's asking, right? And that's all it's doing. And it gives you a cool little brief intro to that. So commands are tested on the following updated operating system. So Windows 10 is basically there's Windows 11 now, but Windows 10 runs everywhere, right? It's the newest one. Windows Server 2022. It's a little older, but I mean, I'm sure it's ran everywhere. Ubuntu 22, LTS. I think my Ubuntu VM is Ubuntu 22.4. Kali Linux 22.2. I mean, what it is you're gonna have to update this, right, as you go, and that's the whole point. You're continually learning. So it's not like you're gonna come and learn from. Let's say this book just barely came out. You're gonna come and learn from this book, and then you're just gonna stay with all that knowledge, and you're not gonna like update and hey, how come this ain't working anymore? Over the years, oh, it's it's deprecated. So let's see what else we're using. You're gonna do that anyways, right? And so open source intelligence, OSINT. So if you guys don't know what open source intelligence is, it's OSINT, right? And it's basically all the open source information you can get off the internet, or right, or books or anything open source. It's not illegal. It's on the internet, and I've made some couple videos, Google dorking and all that stuff, but you got to be careful with all that. But anyways, so it starts off OSINT. It starts off with OSINT, and it's gonna start with network. So network and resources. This is how this book is laid out. I like it because it's similar laid out to how my mind works, right? And the CISP, the stuff that I'm creating. But the difference is it doesn't go into higher description of what you're doing or how you could use it, right? So this, like I said, this automatically assumes you know what this is for, right? So network resources. So this is where this video or where I come in, right? So what I'm, so okay, so DNS stuff slash tools, and it says DNS stuff toolbox. So this is a perfect example, right? I'm gonna copy this. I love this new Kindle app. Anyways, okay. So we're gonna copy this address, and we're gonna pump this into let me see. Well, we're gonna use Windows. Should we use Windows? Sure. Let's see about the Windows machine. Okay, so we're gonna go into the Windows machine. I'm gonna open this Microsoft Edge. Let's see if it gives me if I have internet connection. Do I? It says I do. This one might be kind of slow. I don't know if I gave it enough. I don't know if I gave it enough power. You can't drive a hoverboard over water. You need power. Alright, it's taking too long. So we'll do the Kali and see if the Kali is working. Right. Let's see if this Kali internet. It says the internet's up. You know how that works. Let's see if see if my YouTube is pulling up. It's usually my test to see if the YouTube pulls up. If it doesn't, I ain't got no internet. All right, this one. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're not gonna do the internet on these. We'll just do it on my regular internet. So these are my two favorite um AIs. You got ChatGPT, of course, and I pay monthly for this ChatGPT. I mean, because I use it constantly when I'm creating things. This guy is a little creator helper, man. And here's the thing: there's a lot of people that they don't know how to use this ChatGPT. They use it for all the answers, to give them all the answers and stuff. But that's not how you're supposed to use that. I mean, you can, but you're not gonna. Then it's creating everything. You're not creating nothing. How you use this is you write out a structure and you write out something you're creating, list, whatever, and then you ask it questions and you tell it to format things for you. You create it yourself and you pipe it in here or pump it in here, and then this thing formats it for you, makes it better. I mean, this thing is awesome, right? You all know that. Copilot, I like Copilot for my quick little, like what are the best crops to plant, stuff like that. So we're gonna use Copilot, right now. And then what we're gonna do is in Copilot, if you guys don't know, it's just a Microsoft. So you click, you go to here, your tab, and then you see this little guy right here. You open Copilot, right? And it's got to be the Microsoft browser. So it's got to be this browser right here, the Microsoft Edge. I think it's Edge now. Anyways, there's your Copilot, and it's free. You gotta pay for it, but it's free. But you can pay for it, you get more I have this dude ChatGPT create me pictures and all kinds of stuff, man. So that's why I pay for it. So let's go back to the book. Okay, I already copied this DNS stuff toolbox. I'm gonna say DNS stuff toolbox. Okay, so I'm gonna say what is DNS stuff, right? Toolbox. I can't spell and I can't type. What's that? All right, I'm gonna do that, and then it's gonna tell me, right? So it says the DNS stuff toolbox is a suite of online tools designed to help IT professionals and network administrators troubleshoot and optimize their DNS domain name system configurations. Here are some of the key tools you can find in the DNS stuff toolbox. DNS lookup. Check DNS records for specific domains. Who is lookup. Retrieve. So it's basically it's a little toolbox, right? That has all kinds of reconnaissance stuff, or it has what were we looking at? It has network hacking uh tools or ideas, right? So well, actually, well, dnsstuff.com/tools gives you a toolbox that has all this stuff together, right? But I mean, you can look at it separate, right? Because you can look up DNS who look up right now. You can do who is lookup. You can do, you can do a ping test. You can do all this separately, but this is all in one little toolbox. So apparently that's what it is, right? Okay, so now that gave me a description, like just in case because I don't know what everything it has in it, and this is or what it is. I have an idea. I've heard of it. DNS toolbox. I've played around with it, I think, or something, but I don't use it on a regular basis. So this gives me like, okay, for sure, I know what it is, right? It has email tools and it's got IP information, trace route packets. Well, I don't know what this trace, why it has trace route and ping. It might be like a little box where you can ping and use trace route, automatic built into a little box, right? So now we're gonna open this. Come up here to this browser, whatever, right? And so when I copy stuff from my book, it also copies the book name, which is kind of annoying, but it's better than nothing because all I do is I delete that little name on the end, and now I can just input stuff. So look, it takes me to DNS stuff, and you gotta be careful when you're looking at all this stuff. Make sure you have your browser, safe thing on, and everything's legit. Trackers block 6. Anyways, so DNS stuff. So now you're gonna look here. Look, it's got Pingdom, make your website faster. It's got SolarWinds, free tools, superhero. TraceRaw.ping. So these, I guess, are all the little tools that it has. Free tool feature Pingdom. Okay, so these are free tools. Network. So you're gonna come in here and look, and you're gonna mess around, and you're gonna figure it out what it is. Here's the description. Now you can also say, how do I download it, right? So how do I download it, right? How do I download it, right? If you want, right? This is, it's an online tool directly through your browser. Here's how you can download it. Visit DNS tools, free tools. See, there it is, right? Okay, select the tool you need, who is ping trace route. Use the tool online. Simply enter the required information, IP, this and that. Use it online, or you could download it. If you need offline tools, SolarWinds offers downloadable utilities that might be useful. So this just gives you more information, and you can keep asking and whatever. But there you go. Now you know what that is. So what this is let's go back up here to the book. So this just gave you in a cool little reference something to look up about cybersecurity, and that has to do with OSINT, open source intelligence. Now, I'm gonna give you another little hint here. So let's come in here and go. What is OSINT. And then I like to put in cyber. The more, man, the more I'm trying to practice my typing, but it's just terrible. Yep, can't spell. So the more you learn or look up something about cybersecurity, the better. I think that's what I was going to say. Um, Open source intelligence, OSINT, in cybersecurity refers to the practice of collecting and analyzing information from public available sources. It's basically it, right there. To enhance intelligence and improve secure measures. Here are some aspects of information gathering. So with this, okay, then you got threat and identification, proactive defense, incident response. So with this, right, it's dnstoolstuff.com. This would be information gathering, right? But you're using network resources, but you're gathering information because these tools, um, like DNS lookup, you're trying to find DNS specific domains related to your target, right? Who is you're trying to, it tells you literally right here, retrieve registration details for the domain. So this is your initial reconnaissance phase where you have a target, you're trying to find out things about them, and here's a couple sources and tools. So this is a great book. I mean, this book is just, so you would have to do a tremendous amount of research on your own and say, okay, I got a target. What do I do first? Or you can follow the MITRE attack frame. You can follow mine, the CISP. I mean, you can do all this stuff that you're going to have to figure out. You're going to have to do a lot of research and all that stuff. This right here gives you the path first. It tells you, okay, it doesn't tell you what you're going to use it for. It just says network resources. How the hell does that help me? But I know what network resources are. I know how to use these. Like I know what these are for, right? But if you don't, or if somebody else, like Shodan, so you're gonna look up Shodan. Let me copy this. So Shodan, right? You're looking at that. Some of you might not know what Shodan is. Okay, so I'm gonna ask Copilot. I like Copilot for asking just like dumb questions or just simple question, right? What is Shodan? In cybersecurity, I should put. I'll always put more information because here's the thing: you could put what is Shodan, and then they might give you something wrong. You get what I'm saying? This one it knows I'm talking about cyber already, so I didn't have to put that, but always put it. What is Shodan in cybersecurity? You know what I'm saying? Because it might give you something wrong. And you're just learning the wrong stuff, so then you just look stupid when you're trying to do something. So Shodan is a search engine specifically designed to find and provide information about internet-connected devices. Unlike traditional search engines that index websites, Shodan indexes devices such as servers, routers, webcams, and more. So basically, what Shodan does, it's a powerful tool, and you can do research on it, and you can learn, the history on it, who created it, why, and all this stuff. What it does is it well, one of the things it does is it finds uh, IP addresses that are available on the gateway, or gateway IP addresses, right? So the front doors of a lot of things that are connected, a lot of devices that are connected to the internet, right? Straight to the internet, not through a router, not through a server or firewall, and all that, or what could be that, right? It could be all that stuff, but everything is directly connected to the internet, right? And like, and that's why it says routers and servers and all that, because they're usually the ones that are connected directly to the internet, right? Because they're protecting what's behind them. So that's a very powerful tool. And you can go in, and let's say your target is for physical systems, and let's say your target is a target for um, a potato factory, okay? And so you can actually use Shodan to search. in an IP range, I guess, or the name of the company or the target, and all this stuff specifically in IoT devices. And if they have anything that's misconfigured or it's not, they have it actually facing the internet, and you can actually, you know, get their IP address of it, then it'll show up. So Shodan is very very powerful. I've never used it because I'm not a hacker. I'm not hacking people, right? And so, but you can fiddle around with tools like these, but just be careful, right? That's always the disclaimer. But this right here tells you basically what it is, and we'll come up here and we'll, you know, and then like I said, I got to take this whole thing off. So here's Shodan, and this is what it looks like, Shodan, right? I've done some videos on it, I think. I don't remember. But you got to play around with this website, and it's free, and then you can pay for it too. So I'm sure if you were a serious team, you'd have a paid account, right? Or if you're a pen tester, I'm sure you're going to have a Shodan account or something like that for your company that everybody can access. But because the free version is okay, but the paid version, I'm sure, is way more powerful. And to tell you the truth, if I was doing serious hacking, not just like pen testing and stuff, because in pen testing and white hat hacking, you're gonna have to follow a guideline, maybe, right? So they're gonna tell you, oh yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. But if you're doing some serious stuff for the government or whatever, I don't care. You're gonna use Shodan, right? You're gonna use it you're gonna use it in any way you need to, right? Um, like I said, I don't condone any. But here's the thing. I mean, all this stuff is free. It's all available. All this information is free and available, and if people don't know how to use it responsibly, they must be taught, right? Okay, so here goes Shodan IO, Shodan. So that's how you go through. Now you can go through and do all these and check them all out, and the more knowledge is power, right? Okay, the next one is who is resources. So this is all who is, right? So this is like if you're trying to look up companies or IPs or whatever and stuff like that. So let's go here, ican.org, right? Let's go down. Let's go up here. Let's take off this name of my book because it always does that. I don't know why. Alright, so here goes ican.org, okay, and then it usually tells you what it is real off the back, right? Right, and so it says sees this meeting getting started. Who are we? It usually has like a who are we or ICANN offices will be closed. ICANN news. Quick links. We'll look at quick links. ICANN services. All right. So now what do? We'll come in here and we say, what is what was it called again? Um, ICANN. Let me see. CANN. Cyber. Sorry. All right. The Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. Oh, that's right. It's a nonprofit. That's how stupid. I forgot. Is a nonprofit organization that plays a crucial role in maintaining the security, stability, and interoperability. Remember that name. Remember that. I mean, remember that name. Remember that word of the internet. That's a very cool word. Look it up. It's cool. I'm not going to tell you what it means, but it's a cool word. Here are some aspects of ICANN's role. Domain name system. So ICANN coordinates the global DNS, ensuring and that's where the interoperability comes from, right? It's Google it. Anyways, it's a good word. DNS security extensions. So basically, this essential for smooth functioning of the internet, right? And they handle the DNS, the global DNS structure. I don't know. Anyways, read this. So this should help you when you're looking up DNS domain names of um, targets, right, or something like that. Okay, now let's go a little bit. Let me see how many more minutes I got. I'm just gonna do this 30-minute quick little video. We got 5 more minutes. So, I mean, this is an awesome book. You guys look it up, right? So we're gonna go into OSINT resources, Google searches, right? Site URL. Now this is like Google. This is Google dorking, basically, right? And like I said, this is integer, but your date, and then you got to give a date. Searches within the past month that you put. So this is gives you, like I said, the commands or whatever. When here goes Windows next. But it assumes that you already know what it's for and what you're using it for, right? I mean, that makes sense because let's say you're a hacker. Let's say you're a red team hacker, okay? And this company, I'm just gonna give the PG version. I'm not gonna say you're a hacker for the deep state, or you're I'm not gonna say you're a nation state hacker for China, or America. We have our own hackers as well. You guys should look that up. We have our own team of lead hackers that do this, and they're basically nation state. They're called nation state hackers, and every country, every big major country has them. China has them, Russia has them, and we look at them as bad, right? Oh, they're nation state hackers. They're hacking into our stuff. They're attacking us. And then we look at them as bad. And we also have some of those people too. And other countries look at us as probably the worst, the king cobra of all the nation state hackers, right? Because we have the most resources, we have the most money, and so I can imagine if I was in Russia and I was a hacker or a cybersecurity professional, they would be studying about all the things that we did, and we've done some stuff. You have to look it up on that. That's some research you guys should look up if you're interested in that. But this is the fairy tale that the veil over our eyes that we tell ourselves. That every country tells themselves that we do no wrong because we're doing it in defense of our country, which I would say is true, right? Depending on what we do, and I'm sure Russia's nation state hackers aren't thinking the same. They're not. They're thinking the exact same thing. They're everything they do is for their country, for Mother Russia or whatever, right? So it's not bad, right? So this is the philosophy of all this. We have nation state hackers. What I'm saying is, so let's say you're let's say you are a nation state hacker. Who cares? I don't know where I was going with this. And then you're working for your country, whatever. You can't remember some commands. You don't have access to the internet or whatever. To look it up really quick. I don't know. It'd be cool to have this book, right? You're gonna have this red team book. Oh wait, I got the book, boom, or something. But what if you go deep into you go deep into um, a target, or even if you're working for a company? That's where I was going with this. Let's say you're working for a company, you're on the red team, and you're paid to surveil this place, to test it stuff, and you have free range except for certain things like you're supposed to damage fences or cameras, don't break anything, right, or something like that. So then uh, you get inside the building and say or whatever, you can't get access to the internet, nothing. I mean, but you have access to their server or something, their Windows server. You get into it, you plug into it. I don't know. It's going to help you if you can't remember certain commands. I don't know. I don't know. But it's a cool book for people that I would say, like we're doing. You want to learn more about how to use something, and then you Google it, and then you actually try to do it. Now, I'm going to do this video a little bit longer than 30 minutes, and we'll actually go over some cooler stuff. So, like environment variables. This is already when, like, it says Windows. So this is assuming I'm already in Windows, right? So this section details important Windows operating systems information across many different versions, such as Windows XP. Details in this section include versions, numbers, and dates release. administrative minor information. Right. This is now. Hold on. Okay, so this is gonna end this video. So we'll go ahead and start another one. All right. So I know what this information is used for. So this is like if you know you want to know the versions and you want to know the vulnerabilities, right? Um, let's say you run a scan on a network and it tells you Windows 10 ID and it was released on this date. This gives you a lot of information to look up on the damn vulnerability website or any. This gives you an information that you can look up for vulnerabilities, right? So that's how I see it, right? So this just gives you a guideline. Here's the PID or the ID or whatever number. Dates. Okay, what does this say? Operating information across different versions such as Windows. Details in this section include version number. So here's the version number, or yeah, uh, and release administrative binary information. So administrative binary information, environmental variables. So this has more information on the release versions, so you can look at more vulnerabilities, right? So that's what this kind of stuff is. Windows Server versions. Windows servers include Windows Server Essentials, Windows Server Standards, Windows Server Data Center. And information is king, right? Information is power. So Windows NT versions. So Windows NT versions. Now, I don't necessarily know what this is. So what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to type in what is, I want to know more information on it, right? Windows, and then we'll do NT. What is Windows NT versions in cyber? No, Windows NT new technology is a family of operating systems produced by Microsoft designed for both personal and professional use. Windows NT, the first version, Windows NT. Okay. Oh, it's old or something. All right, yeah, it's old, but a lot of uh, a lot of companies probably still using them, right? And I don't know what they're using them for. Windows administrator binaries. Okay, local user and group. So this is going to be commands, right? So let's go here, open my Windows, so command, and let's see. Let me, man. So we're gonna move this over. We're just gonna type in that command. I'm gonna have to. So lusrmgr.msc, and what it does is it pulls this up, right? And this is my victim window, so it doesn't matter. Pulls up the users and the groups, local users and groups. Pulls up your local users and groups. So it's just a command. Let's say you've already hacked into somewhere, and or let's say that's why it's literally called Windows Administrative Miners. Um, let's give you an example. Let's say you're in a company and you're an insider threat. Okay. Now there's two ways to look at what I'm telling you. You can look at it like I'm giving you ideas to do that or something, which is, I would say, false. Or you can look at it like this is something that this is what cybersecurity is. I have a problem with. It's not that I have a problem. I've learned the hard way that there's two ways of thinking in cybersecurity. Security. So the first way is the IT way. IT way. It's for my Mexican peoples. Anyways, is the IT way, and the IT way is not. I'm just gonna say it. It's not cyber. It's not cybersecurity mentality. It's not cybersecurity. The way of thinking. So now let me explain that. So this would be a long video on itself, but just real quick, the the IT guys protect the data in transit and all that stuff, right? They set up tools, they monitor the tools. They have IT degrees, and they know how to defend things and all that. But they have to do additional research on their own to see how attackers are attacking, that are actually physically attacking. They understand the threats that, like insider threat. That's not a good example probably, because I'm sure they understand there's insider threat, and that's why they use all their passwords and multi-factor authentication, all this stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, cybersecurity people that are specifically cybersecurity, like me, my degree, and other people, we think on a whole nother level. We think on the attacker level, on the hacker level, on insider threats. But what would they be doing insider threats? Like what? Why? Okay, so in which scenario would this human being want to attack this company, right? Okay, and how would he attack it? What would be his mind frame? So I mean, what would he do first, right? And then so he would probably, if he was in the company, he would most likely try to run scans without being detected. There's logging, monitoring devices. They're looking for suspicious anomalies and stuff. So he'd probably run really slow nmap scans, try to be covert, but he'd try to find, he'd probably do some privilege escalation, but he'd probably run some Windows administrative binaries. He'd probably run some commands like this, just to see what users and group, whatever. And so this is what I'm saying. Now, IT guys, they know that they'll do it, but that thing that stops right there. I'm not too sure that they go into the why, how, what, where, and when on these people. They just go, oh yeah, just in case somebody in the inside, insider threats. We need to put in these factors and these things. But the thing is, do they know that you can run a do they know you can run a stuff scan? Of course they can, because that's the blue team is running scans when they do investigations and stuff. But like I'm saying, it's uh, there's a difference, because I had a job where I was working with IT, and I guess the title was IT special, cyber specialist, right? But and you don't want to put those two together. I'm sorry to tell you. There's a bridging the gap of cybersecurity professionals and IT professionals, and there is a gap. I don't care what anybody says; it's evident, because you get these really dudes that've been in IT for years, and they have no clue of what you're talking about when you're trying to tell them. You do need to think about these things. You know, because if another company gets hacked, then you are, because this is what's happening. Our information we give them is from our company, and our credit cards and all that is exposed now. An IT guy will be like, well, they've credit cards have insurance on them. Credit cards have this credit card. We could just cancel the credit card. We can get our money back. But that's not the point. That's not the point of cybersecurity. You want to make sure. I mean, of course that's going to happen, right? But you don't want it to happen if you can prevent it, right? And that's just a minor thing. Imagine on a major scale, if you have the same attitude. Well, we have cybersecurity insurance. They'll pay for it if we get hacked. That's a terrible fuck. That's sorry. pardon my French. That's a terrible attitude to have towards cybersecurity. You get what I'm saying? So there's a gap, and it needs to be bridged. Okay, so I mean, I like this book. It's awesome. Um, you know, you guys should buy it, look through it, and see what you want to mess around with and do some research on it. If you're not too sure about it, you can have a lot of experience and read a lot of books and all this stuff and did some practical hacking on your own VMs. And there's going to be a lot of stuff in here that you're going to be like, "Ooh, what does this do?" Remote system enumeration, right? I know what that is. Net session. Okay, so then if I'm kind of clouded in this, I'll look it up and use Copilot. So these are the things you need to do, right? Data mining in Windows. This section details useful techniques pertaining to data mining and documents from Windows computers. This section covers finding files of interest. Okay, so this is the main part. This section covers finding files of interest, compression, various tree techniques, and more. So search for all PDFs. So you're going to type in this command. Let's type that in. And this is in Windows, right? So, and why Windows? Because Windows is going to be your number one probably target, right? If you get into if you need to, right? Because everybody uses Windows. Directory /A/S/B space C. Now this might not be. I can't remember if Windows is space sensitive, and um, I don't think it is, but we're gonna find out. And then you gotta mess with it. I don't use this command a lot, right? And we're looking for yeah. So there you go. It's not. So it's finding all the PDFs on my system, right? Windows, Microsoft, whatever. Okay, now I found a bunch of them. Now let's see what it found. Program files, Microsoft Edge application, MSDF DILL, PDF preview, Microsoft Edge application. Let's take this one. Let's take that one and see if we can open that. Oh, let me see what's in it. I don't know what's in this. Oh, it's not lists. Directory. Windows. PDF preview. Handler. .dll. Cat is not. Oh, yeah. What is it in Windows? Can't remember. Is it? Oh, dang it! So now we're. Dang it, Bobby! Now let's look over here and see. Where is my? I don't know if that's gonna open anyways because it's. Where's my Copilot? Oh, right. Oh, okay. Can't remember. And I don't feel like using my brain. No, damn it. What's it? Notepad? Program? It's not. My brain is not working today. Start file. What? Start. 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 All right. Let's try that. All right. This file This file does not have an app associated with it for performing this action. Please install an app, or if one is already installed, create an association in the default app setting page. Anyways, that's probably not a good example because that's a DLL file. I don't know. Windows data.pdf. Let me give you some Windows data.pdf. D.dll. I don't know. Anyways, that command worked. Gave me the PDF, all the PDFs in the what you would call it. So there you go. I don't have, I don't know, mess around with that too much. But here goes this is a good one too. Find string password.txt so you can find all the search current subdirectories for text files. So this book would be fun for people, even beginners, I would say, because you're gonna go in there and you're gonna mess around with in your VM or even in your own system, and you're gonna pull up all kinds of information, and then you understand what you're doing, and then you'll find out where your stuff is on your Windows, because you got to remember Windows systems are the most popular operating systems in the world, right? It's Windows, then it's I guess then Mac or Linux, then Mac. I don't know. But Windows is the main one, right? So you got to. So obviously, I don't know that much about Windows. I don't even know the command how to open up PDF. So, I mean, but something like that is just it's trivial. You could look that up quick, and figure it out and all that stuff. But because in Windows, you just double click on the PDF and it opens, right? So, I mean, that's another thing that I actually want to go through and make a video and get a Windows command line book and go through it and stuff, because I don't use Windows command line at all. Nobody does. Um, but for admin work and hackers and stuff, yeah, you are, and it'd be better if you did. So, this book is just awesome, right? And so look, Windows Active Directory. This is cool. It tells you a little bit about Active Directory, domain and user enumeration. Now we're getting into the fun stuff, right? This section details important and useful domain enumeration commands. These commands can display computer user groups, etc. So here's some more commands too. Once you're I guess you're on the command line in the Windows environment. So this is all Windows. Windows reconfiguring Windows. So this is already once you're in, and you can't remember certain commands. You got your field manual. You just open up your field manual and you're like, oh, here it is right here. I knew I was missing something. Um, Event viewer manipulation, user level persistence. This is all hacking. And what's funny is that this is all just administrative commands. These are all just commands that are for the administrators, to get information to, and all that stuff. So, and here, like Windows scripting, these are all things that like Windows administrators will know all the way around. So, of course, a hacker should know it too, right? Gives them information to hack and to see where he's going next and give him information. I would say a hacker loves information, right? More information, the better. So now here goes Mac operating system. So this is for Mac, and I want to get a Mac VM here, but I don't really do a lot of Mac. But Mac would be cool to do some Mac stuff because it's different. But here's some Mac stuff. I think you're gonna get into like Linux. They just called it Nix. I don't know what Linux operating system. So this would be all the file structure, important file directories. So like etc shadow. We know that's where the user account information and password hashes are. This is where your user account information, etc password, etc group. We've messed around with these in different videos, created people and passwords and all this stuff. Wireshark, system logs, var, ADM. And this is pretty cool to memorize. All this stuff is really cool. If you get into these different systems, operating systems, Linux system enumeration. So now this is going through Linux stuff. So all this stuff is just really cool. This book is really awesome. Um, that's it. Get this book. It's like $10. Copy. It's cheaper digital, but you got to remember if you're on the field and you don't want to use the internet, you could pop this digital version up, or have a copy of the digital version as a reference in your hacking box or something. If you forget, um, that'll work too, right? But you're probably gonna get the hard copy. The hard copy is more expensive. I think it's like $15, but the TCP dump. Like I said, you don't know what this stuff is. Google it, or um, Copilot it. I use Copilot. I say Google it, but I use Copilot now for most everything, unless I'm just looking up basic random things on Google. All right, so that was Hack the File. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.